Dunk.
How we doing, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? Himfail here with another wacky memes build. First off, I apologise for how I look. Still a bit fuzzy from last night's shenanigans. So, this is a Necromancer that uses a bow. As we all know, I love characters that are off, meta and, use the items that grant skills that don't belong to them, and etc. So, when they changed Widowmaker many seasons ago, season 4 or 5, I don't actually remember, I'm sorry, I did lots of experimentation with paladins, necromancers, barbarians, all that stuff, with, the ability to use guided arrow multi-shot, and I loved it. I first made this Necromancer and, dragged him up through the game back when the Runes of Vizjun was the only map, stuck him into a map, he was having loads of fun, and then I got to the boss and I had some weird disconnect lag thing, ping shot up into the thousands. There might even be a clip on my YouTube channel, I don't remember. But anyway, death, absolute death, of course. So, I barely got one map in before it died. It was unfortunate. And then I did this build again a bit later on, and I got absolutely rinsed by souls in the Great Marsh, because again, I love walking the game, as we all know. So I was walking hell, and there was a conviction pack just off the screen, and as I got close to them, because they were off the screen and not shooting me, and as I got close, they just went BAM! Anyway, I digress. So I thought, this season, I'm going to do, the Widowmaker Necro again. So essentially, he's sort of a bit of a Curse Mancer, a bit of a Golem Mancer, just with extra steps. Instead of standing around and just casting the curses and going, yay, and now my minions can kill. You're getting involved. So it's a lot of fun. So we'll start off with gear as usual. So you absolutely have to have a Widowmaker, of course, for the guided arrow and the multi-shot. You predominantly use multi-shot. Guided arrow, I do find myself using on bosses because it's an auto hit, and you don't have a lot of AR with this build. There are ways around it, and you could get away with having a demon limb here for buffing. But anyway, again, the amount of arrows you pump out constantly, you get some hits. So yeah, Widowmaker for those reasons. Obviously, as many socks as possible. I got lucky with a 5-socket slam. Increased attack speed and ED jewels in there, or increased attack speed, max damage. Yeah, so it has ignores target's defense, which is great against trash mobs. Like I said, you have trouble hitting bosses because you lack of AR, so guided arrow comes into play against bosses. And so you want to maximize your plus to all skills so that 5 to multiple shot becomes as many as possible. So what I do, as we all know, I'm a big fan of this set and its crazy poison damage bonuses and etc. And obviously with the armor, getting hit and getting a bone armor when struck is really good on any character. I mean, we cast bone armor, of course, but it gets topped up, when you get hit. It's kind of useful. So the mainstay of this, though, is Andariel's. So you get the 2 tool skills, which increases your arrows. You get life leech, which is useful, of course. And also the main reason is the usual. We're taking the venom charges and we pop them on to truncate the poison damage that you get from this set, just to make sure you actually punch a bit with damage, because the physical is fine. You could go like all of these kind of charms, absolute physical everywhere. Don't even use this set, you could just have a crafted sort of ED armor, damage reduction, that kind of thing. I just really like the way this set works, and so I've always been a fan. But yeah, so I got 3 socket slam. I put increased attack speed, attack rating jewels in there for when I'm fighting certain bosses where I don't need guided, like map bosses, where it's like you still need AR, but just throw multi-shot at them. It's fine. So yeah, that's 3 increased attack speed, and attack rating duels. I say one was 35, one was 32, and one was 26, I believe. So yeah, that's the helmet slot. I'd love a +1 to all skills slam on this, so it was +2 for, again, more arrows. That's where I'd improve. My armor is terrible. Like I said, a lightning resist slam, and then one socket which has an all-res 11 duel in it with 3 decks. Again, very much need to improve that particular Dark Adherent. The arrows, so again, I've tried to get things in which could be useful. The massive poison damage, again, helps, you know, to get with the truncation from Andariel's Visage and the set bonuses, etc. So a bit of faster hit recovery in case I get caught with my pants down. A tiny bit of damage. You know, open wounds could be useful if I've gone all out on it, but I haven't. So, yeah, arrows are a little bit, you know, as much poison damage as possible, essentially, if you're going to use this set. As I said, you could use, like I said, other things. Rite of Passage with a Life Slam. Again, could be better. So I got a Stone of Jordan to help with my skills. With the Dex roll. I did actually slam a faster run walk one of these, but I said I swapped it with Cremadan. Dex is good for me. I don't really need a faster run walk. And Dex obviously helps with damage. Crenadun with fast hit recovery. I mean, that's fine. You know, it could be Pierce or something on there, but eh. I needed Cold and Lightning res, because that's where I was falling down in hell. So I just grabbed a ring that had Cold and Lightning res on it. Again, could do better by a mile. And then lastly, I've got some Deadly Strike. Sadly, it's the lowest damage to demons it could be. But it was the only one I got to roll something that I actually needed. You know, there was a mana per kill one that I slammed. I didn't really need it. I slammed 2 faster block rate ones, and I was like, really? Not on this character. But yeah, Deadly Strike. Again, I don't do much physical damage, but I'm having fun, so who cares? So right, that's my gear. So charms, as I say, I've got a couple of max damagey boys with some life and stuff, and then it sort of immediately hits summoning skillers. I sort of got lazy because I obviously put a lot of these on early at level 42, and I was like, well, you know, I don't have to use them. I could go all out damage charms, but again, got lazy. All of my damage charms are on my level 30 Jabazon low level dueler, so I could swap them out, but eh. So, you know, summoning skills work fine. And then a couple of curse skillers just purely because I needed the faster hit recovery, and then one of them had life on it, so oh, it's nice. You don't really need curse skillers at all. It's just inventory filler. I mean, the more you have in amp damage and things, the better it is, because that's where your damage comes from for yourself, casting a fat amp. We'll get to that. So the usual Torch and Annie to help out with the old resies. Not much of a struggle with res on this character, but yeah, and then I got a couple of 3 maxi boys. Actually, a lot of 3 maxi boys. Little tiny life one. Again, you'd want them all to have a second stat like that one. 3, you know, 20, and then 20 life, you know, but never managed to get them. And yeah, I said I needed to get some more Cold and Lightning res, so there we go. And these had faster run walk, and so I kept them because getting those breakpoints, which we can go over now. Breakpoints. So with multiple shots, I'm at 10 frames because I have 140 increased attack speed. So it's super fast for a Necromancer that isn't an Amazon, that's pretending to be an Amazon. So I've got fast hit recovery 56. I would like 86, but then again, I'm hiding behind the golems, so you're absolutely fine. Loads of life leech and a little bit of life and mana per kill, nothing crazy. I said tiny bit of open wounds, decent deadly strike and crit jobby, so it's okay. Yeah, faster run walk, 46, so you know I can escape decently if my blood warp is on cooldown. Oh, pardon me. As you can see, quite a lot of poison damage there from the set job. And as we would usually do, like I said, we cast Venom from Andes and it gets truncated to that over 1 second, which is real punchy. Again, it's not huge. We're not maxing that in any way in this build. You could. Again, there's plenty of ways you can approach this. I just like approaching it with this set. Right, so that's my gear. Now let's go over the Merc's gear. So as you can see, we've got lots of summons. So we don't need anything physical going on with the Merc. So as we all know, I love lots of different damage types, so I thought, hey, why not get good old Zinthros and slam out some cold, you know? Got some good cold gear. I'm missing a facet there, as you can see, but Deaths, Nightwings, Lidless with a fast hit recovery duel, because there's lots of shales, as you can see. That gets the breakpoint up for the Mercenary. 63, because when they get hit, they're kind of useless and squishy wet paper bag, so they need to faster hit recovery quick and try and escape. He needed lightning and poison res, so that's why his boots look like that. Snow Clash for the extra cold skills, of course, and then Mage Fist for some faster hit recovery. I could put either Trangs or, you know, get some more strength and put the Crusader gauntlets on, but again, he's not stonks, he's weak, so Mage Fists will suffice. The other reason we use the Cold Merc is not because he pumps out some crazy good damage, it's because of his native aura. So not only does everything, you know, he gets replen, I get replen, these little guys get replen, but it's also the life on hit. It's very useful. So it means we don't have to cast life tap so much. And speaking of which, we'll go over the skills now. Just before I do that, I took his helmet off and now his damage looks pathetic. Don't know what's going on there. Anyway, so skill tree. As I said, you are essentially a summoner, you know, and Cursemancer, but with extra steps. So we're maxing out Golem Mastery, Clay Golem, because of the slow, and because I love slowing the enemies, it's awesome. They're like, eh. And Crushing Blow against bosses. I mean, obviously, Blood Golem is the new meta, and they're amazing, but I'm like, hey, poor Gumbies, I want to use Gumbies. I did put 1 point in Iron Golem, which you don't have to do, but I really enjoyed the Iron Golem because it means it's less work for me, because he is going to cast one of my curses. So he casts slower res on striking for the Mercenary, for Zinthros to slap out, you know, his Blizzards and his Ice Blast. I have like a whole bunch of these sorts of weapons hanging around. So yeah, I just pick them up. Also, that's Rixot. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of low resist weapons just hanging around. So yeah, you don't have to use them at all. Like I said, you can have all clays, but he's very tanky because of the fact we're maxing Golem Mastery. His life is huge, as you can see, and that's not even with buffing switches, which I do have on Switch. Oops, I forgot to show you. My bad. Again, fuzzy from yesterday. Sorry. So if I switch. So we've got Blackhand Key on Switch for the Necromancer skills for buffing golems, but also, more importantly, so that we have Grimward. So when we're trying to get down a particularly difficult enemy at any point where you can raise corpses, because I don't have points in Desecrate. I have been toying with the idea that I can pop my own corpses, but most of the time stuff just goes down. There's only particularly sticky stuff that doesn't. So you pop a Grimward and you get 250 attack rating, which means, again, major hits, and plus 88% to your damage. So for me, it adds a couple of hundy. And it's really nice. So yeah, Blackhand Key, not only good for Necromancer buffing, but also good for Grimward. Yeah, definitely consider it, everybody. It's a lovely thing to have on Switch, especially when you don't need teleport because we have Blood Warp. And Bone Flame, because again, 3 Necromancer skills. If I get caught with my pants down buffing, you know, I've got some damage reduction and big resistances still, so if I'm switching and ow, like I said, you're fine. Alright, anyway, yes, so back to skills. Sorry, a bit all over the place. Professional YouTuber. So as I said, we max Golem Mastery, Clay Golem, a couple of points in Blood Warp just to get the cooldown. I'm fine with the 2.2 cooldown because you teleport in, shoot a bunch of shots, and then before you know it, everything's dead, and then the cooldown's already come back. So you're like, oh, okay, I don't need to max that all the way down. Besides, my skill points need to go elsewhere. So Poison and Bone, I put a couple of points in Bone Armor, 10, I believe, something like that. Just enough to get, you know, a decent amount, you know, when something hits me physically, usually archers, that I can tank it and go, ow, that hurt. Quick, reposition, or whatever. Most of the time, again, the golems just distract the hell out of everything and beat them up, so it's great. You don't need to worry too much, it's very safe. And like I said, with the life leech from your mercenary, sorry, life on hit, more importantly, it's very safe. So hence my tiny life pool. It's like, pfft, care. Right, and curses, we're maxing Amp, and we're maxing Curse Mastery. At the moment, I still haven't got it maxed, because I'm only level 85, but, you know, maybe one day I'll get this build up to you know, high 90s. But yeah, so we max Curse Mastery so we can get 3 curses on the screen. Max Amp to get that huge physical damage resistance, meaning you do more damage with the bow shots. Life Tap, only very occasionally, like I said, because it's usually him keeping me alive. And then Weaken. And the reason for that is because if something's hitting your golems and it's particularly scary, then their damage is minus 30%. But more importantly, the target's defense is reduced by minus 32%, which means not only do you hit them easier, but you hit them harder. And I've talked about this in previous videos, but basically this, and this can be used on everyone, including bosses. Because my issue is, you know, I love playing around with Dim Vision, Terror, and Confuse, and I highly recommend that if you want to try this build, then, you know, tie everything up with these. It's hilarious. I would max Dim Vision, Terror, and Decrepify and watch them spin on the spot slowly. It's hilarious. The only problem with that is they don't work on, you know, bosses. So I just keep it simple and have Amp, Life Tap, Weaken, because it works on bosses. And I said half the time I don't even use Life Tap. As I said, I will cast Amp, I'll cast Weaken, and then when I get the third curse from Curse Mastery, you know, then we have lower resist on top. But as it stands, it's just, you know, a medley of curses. Doesn't really matter what's happening at the time. Only really enforce it on bosses. So, yeah, that's that then. I'll just quickly jump into here just to show you guys what it's like. So we bosh out our bone armor, which is 637, so it's enough to take a hit. And say we pop on venom, and then we got blood warp. So we jump in, and die. Yep, awesome. So I'm definitely not ready for this. Too hungover or drunk or whatever the hell I am. Sorry, YouTube. No kid show here. Right, so we bosh out the amp. Bam! Lots and lots of arrows, as you can see, because we have lots of plus skills. That's what it's like without amp there. As you can see, the golems that do God's work. We have 14 arrows. So yeah, just, yeah, there you go. Bam, biggity bam. Stuff dies. It's a lot of fun. There you go. I put Weaken on them. They've already gone down because the mercenary's an absolute beast. I say ruin them. There you go, some stuff. Bam! I know they're only little guys, but it's very satisfying to kill lots of them at once, isn't it? You know, I guess this is how a multi-shot Zon feels. Except I have curses and, you know, well, I have more curses than they do. Usually they got apples. So there you have it, everybody. That's, it's fun. I say it works well in maps. I say if you wanted to accelerate maps and go faster, then you would have, you wouldn't use this set. You know, I'm doing it purely for the poisony boys. As you can see, my multi-shot damage looks pathetic. But strangely it does more than it says on the tin, just because I'm pumping out a crazy sized amp damage curse to go with it, which other people are only getting like Atlas or a, you know, Martyr to Fail or something like that, whereas I can cast my own and then those hits really tell. Well, Stone Skin, as you can see, that's a bit more of a struggle. I have to let the boys deal with that. You know, for me it's like, you're not doing any damage there. But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun build. As I said, Paladins, everybody loves this bow. It's great. You know, I highly recommend giving it a try. So yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate you.